Good morning, everybody. I'm just in for a quick live right now, just to bring some more hot topic news to you guys here on the One Papoose channel. Happy Friday, happy Friday. Um, this came out, and as you people can see, it is LaShonda Landfair, and I believe a brother. Have to get into the article, which is what I'm going to read. Not an article, the posting that went up. That was crazy. But in case a lot of you people don't know, this also happens to be one of the young ladies, I guess, that was somewhere around Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly back in the 90s or earlier than that. She's known to be one of Sparkle's niece, I guess, or whatever. The story that was put out a while ago, it was that the parents or so, which we all know her father played the drums for Mr. Kelly, who has passed away here recently, not too long ago. And yeah, well, it was told that the parents had received money. These parents has testified, or in front of a grand jury, I guess, given their statement about her not being the person on this alleged tape that was put out many many years ago about Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. So it is said that it's a possibility that she will be coming back and testifying in the Chicago trial against Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. That's allegedly. So I guess this is something that we'll have to wait and see. Somehow, change of heart may have been taken, and people have been speaking to her or whatever. And it's a possibility that they may need her to put a nail in the coffin of Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly, in which that's what they have been trying to do. Here I will, let's read the post, because you will be surprised to who also is following and probably speaking to this young lady here, LaShonda Landfair. Okay, well, let's get into the post here. See if I can blow it up so you guys can see what the post says. This one here is liked by Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly's daughter, Abuku Abai, and of course 211 other peoples that follow her. She goes by the name of Sticks Jams. Some may know, but many may not. My sister, Sean, is the definition of resilience, love, and care. She basically raised me as a kid while dealing with her own trials and tribulations. Soon the world will know her story, and you'll see why she is the perfect candidate to lead women and men all over the world that may feel broken, alone, and abused to bigger and better things. Cheers to our next chapter. Project Refine. I hear a lot on the street, with Mr. Kelly's children, and people praying and hoping that they would, come and probably visit, talk to their dad, hear the truth, see what's going on, blah, blah, and skip it that. That's kind of the word has been on the street. But yeah, so she's been out there, she's been active, she's all grown up now, and allegedly is probably going to have a story to tell in the Chicago trial. So something for us to actually wait to see how it will go down. A lot of us will probably think about, like me, I was one of those people, whether if this will fall up under any statute of limitations, or will this fall up under any double jeopardy acts out there. If so, I guess that's something else that we will have to wait and see on. So it's interesting how his attorney, Banjin, will be preparing herself for this part of the trial in Chicago. So just wanted to point that out, and that's out there. But this is a tough case, you guys. This is a very, very tough case. So let me do this here. want to kill that beat for a second. So again, I'm just on here just for a little bit because a whole lot of things went wrong in this case. In case you guys are up and live, Texas Black Diamond has a very interesting live going on over there. But I had to come live because I got somewhere to go and I just want to drop this so I can come back live later on and we can talk about it, you guys. We can talk about it. Let me see. We can talk about it. I want to hear your thoughts on this. So, everybody had a whole lot of, diversion of who did this and who did that and why it was done. Texas Black Diamond has a video going on, and I think the video, well, I know the video was pertaining to some things that Andrew Wyatt, which a lot of people now know represented Mr. Bill Cosby. Well, he also had made some contact with the inside or speaking with Mr. Kelly and other people. We had Don Russell come out. Don Russell had said quite a few things when he first came out, but that got torn apart with a distractor out here on YouTube. He did a very damn good job at it. So we know that the last motion that went in for Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly apparently looks like it was denied down in Chicago. I'll try to bring that up just to reread that. But the distractor that I talk about, I'll play a video with that, and you guys can take that for what it is worth. But I want to play this one here. And this one here was put on a short by Texas Black Diamond. So shout out to her. And I just wanted to point this out because if we take Mr. Kelly's life from the trial back in 2002 through 2008 when it involved Tiffany Hawkins and we had Demetra Smith come out. Yeah. It all started back then, but let me get it back up for you guys. Let me get this up for you guys.
It's not about the money. See?
And this is one person that I believe, said a mouthful, but also will show you where the managers will come into play when it's about the money on it and this continuing of demising towards Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. So I guess my question to the people out here, was Mr. Kelly aware that a lot of these deals back then, as far as settling paperwork with some of the accusers, did he know about it? And as I'm listening to this here, which I'm going to be bringing up, I have to say I don't believe so. So it's very crucial with the who is that? Mason, I think it is one of the guys that is on trial, and Bungie is trying to separate these trials because I'm thinking that she probably will be able to prove that Mr. Kelly was not aware of things that were getting settled out. But someone else was, because that someone else was doing it behind the scenes. But let's listen to this right here.
That's why I'll speak out now, you see, because all of them got money. Susan Loggins. And then what does she do? She go out and get other people, recruit people to prosecute Robert for deals.
She would go out. She would go out. Susan Loggins would go out, as he stated, to recruit others for deals. And when he says that, I had to think about it, to recruit others, meaning that to just keep bringing females around or soliciting other females and contacting the manager or whoever is in charge of managing his money to say, hey, you know what, we have another female, we have another female, we have another female. And a lot of these deals were just signed without him knowing about it, allegedly, and that's just my opinion. Let's listen to it again.
I took Tiffany too. See, I didn't get no money for them. It's not about the money, see, and that's why I'll speak out now, you see, because all of them got money. Susan Loggins, And then what does she do? She go out and get other people, recruit people to prosecute Robert for deals. See, it was all about getting money.
To my daughter, to know that the girls was okay, so nobody else knew they was okay. To hire investigators until that got too expensive. To everything, people have no clue to all the stuff that I've been through. They don't have a clue. I got so many pictures of my daughter leaving the truck, going to 7-Eleven, everything. People like, go snatch your daughter. What I look like? That's retarded. My daughter's a grown woman.
Right.
And the other attorney that I took Tiffany to, see, I didn't get no money for the. It's not about the money, see, and that's why I'll speak out now, you see, because all of them got money. Susan Loggins, and then what does she do? She go out and get other people, recruit people to prosecute Robert for deals. See, it was all about getting money.
To my daughter, to know that the girls was okay.
Now,
nobody else knew.
Shout out to
they was
Texas
okay.
Black Diamond. I play that to say this. Had they gotten Susan Logan in New York on the stand, the truth would have probably come out had it been allowed to do so with the cross-examination from Mr. Kelly's attorney, Jennifer Bonjean, that is, or Mr. Canick, that is. So that's a very, very important piece of information as well. What really happened at the beginning of Mr. Kelly's life? Was he aware that these people were settling a bunch of settlements to people that allegedly, and according to Demetra Smith, she was calling, she was looking them up or bringing them about, and hey, just say this and say that, He figured that if he had brought Tiffany Hawkins through, I guess for whatever reason, that it would be done probably at that beginning part of it. But from what he's saying, Susan Logan just kept it going and kept it going and kept it going. And Mr. Kelly was probably not aware of it. So, yeah, I think that, she needs to be a part of this case too. It's crucial. And because they're taking Chicago far back as to bringing LaShonda Landfair up in this trial, which we all know is many, many, many years ago. So I guess, sitting out here, and we'll have to wait and see on how this Chicago trial will be handled as a SOL or a double jeopardy. Yes, they may have a different tape with a different position on it, but does that rule still apply, being that it's still the same female? Does the SOL, can that still be moved in there, being that this is possibly over 20 something years ago? As we can see, LaShonda Landfair is way above the age of when those alleged tapes were produced out here in the community. But I wanted to just bring that awareness to you guys, and I'll repost it one more time so that you guys can see it again in case you missed it from the beginning. R. Kelly's daughter is in apparently association with LaShonda Landfair, following her on the IG. But yeah, she's a grown woman, so boy, this here type of stuff will make you sweat buzz, because trying to find the truth, it'll make you do so. And it's like, holy cow, when you think you're coming to the end and you're not. I'm going to get also into the distractor, because we did have a major distractor out here, the social media under the umbrella of Mr. Kelly. And I kept saying, I think that I am going to stand on something of what I believe in. I'm still going to roll with it. I do not have the link or the copy of Mr. Wyatt's commentary, his Q&A about Mr. Kelly and speaking to Donnell Russell and so on and so forth and Keith. He did state in the video that Keith was his cousin, but it was cleared up by Texas Black Diamond that no, that's, just a good best friend, I believe, of him. I'll show you guys one more time how LaShonda Landfair has grown to a lady, so you guys can see that. That would be her. Apparently, again, this is the young lady that will be coming in the Chicago trial to, I guess, allegedly do some testifying, or tell her, I should say, testimony about what has happened. I'm thinking that there may be a brother or something with her, but I'm not sure. In the message to follow up underneath it, you will, you will see, hold on. You will see it was liked by R. Kelly's daughter, Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly's daughter, Buku, by LaShonda Landfair goes by Sticks Jams. Some may know, but many may not. My sister Sean is the definition of resilience, love, and care. She basically raised me as a kid while dealing with her own trials and tribulations. Soon the world will know her story, and you'll see why she is the perfect candidate to lead women and men all over the world that may feel broken, alone, and abused to bigger and better things. Cheers to our next chapter. So, it's going to be interesting to see that, to hear what her testimony is going to be here now. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Many years later. So have to be mindful of that. This is kind of, ooh, you guys. Now, let's move on, because I did want to talk about this topic, and I hope that Texas Black Diamond does not mind me playing just this little snippets of Mr. Wyatt speaking out to the public. You will hear Texas Black Diamond a little bit. Shout out to her. She was live this morning with some very interesting with a very interesting conversation and topic. But when I first had learned of Don Russell, he had appeared on, I think it was Nick at Night, and then he jumped over to Texas Black Diamond. He had some talk time with Toxic Diamond over on her channel, and he also had visited this channel over here. And I have to say that his story just never changed. His story became vague and deceptive to a lot of people out here because of a distractor. And the distractor not only put dirt on Don Russell, the distractor did a lot of dirt to a lot of people that was speaking out, but he just not the only one. He just became the top source of a distractor out here, and there has to be a motive behind it. And a lot of people just don't sit still to figure out, well, why is this motive like this guy? What is like why this guy is this way, I should say, right? But now it's like, is it too little too late? Because a whole lot of people has been convinced because of his loud voice, or I was around Mr. Kelly and I know, and this man is the shit. He also showed you guys a whole bunch of old paperwork about taxes that was just kind of irrelevant, but that was to throw the deception in it. That it was to put you guys into deception of, oh my God, what do we believe? But sometimes when you follow your heart and your gut, it just doesn't lead you pretty much the wrong way. Well, you know what? R. Kelly had a dear friend that goes by the name of Will, and Will also showed up at a protest down there with this Bookham guy, and he said some words and but after listening to this, and shout out to Dom K, who I believe also has channel now, and is trying to put out some things over there. But one thing for sure, two things for certain. I'm just starting to notice that a pattern, that if you come out to try to put out anything, and if his name is being said, if his name is being said or anything, yeah, you're gonna get a hit back on it. I spoke yesterday, but mine was, there's a point where there's some things that I can actually laugh at about here. But the guy had to come back, and it was about the ugliest person out here on YouTube, and it was about the hair, and things that like really do, like, you can't talk about nobody ugliness and nobody hair. So of course my butt, I had to post something back on my channel. But let's listen to what Will has to say. And as we all know, apparently Will was sometime in Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly's life, was also close to him as well. But let's check it out.
Dana, what that, he's rallying support, for me and so on and so forth. Okay, cool. I've had the same number for now going on 21 years. Everybody got my telephone number. Dana had my number. And because of what my brother told me about him, he asked for my number, I gave it to him. Okay, all right, cool. You come to Chicago, whatever. Hit us up, whatever. So while he was cool and doing everything that he was trying to do to try to help, everything was all love. Then Dana started disrespecting women.
I want you guys to pay close attention. Hear that good. He says, wow, Bookham was cool and trying to help. He said he was cool. He was trying to help. Help as a supporter. Not as a person that comes in and know Mr. Kelly's whole freaking life story about this and about that. That's, but Bookham put it out here 3 years ago. I'm this person, I'm that person, I'm this person. And in my eyes, he really couldn't tell these people shit. He couldn't tell them shit about Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly's life. Not at all. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Let's continue.
Cussing women out, posting pictures of women naked on social media. It's nothing that we do or stand for. And I checked him about it. And I told him about it 2 or 3 times. After the 3rd time, I told Dana, don't ever call me your big brother, because those who say that I'm their little brother, or who say they're my little brother, they listen. They listen. I told Dana, you're too emotionally wrapped up. I don't know what's going on, why you getting into it with these people, what your angle is, but you need to get off social media for a while. You need to get off social media, regroup, and go back to...
But he couldn't get off, Will, because he had so many people that he had convinced about Don Russell and this person and that person. It's still questionable, because I'm going to just play a little snippet of Texas Black Diamond where Mr. Wyatt speaks, right? And how he talks about, Daryl Johnson. Not too much, but Texas Black Diamond goes in depth with Greenberg. I don't know, I don't know whether, I mean, we can tell by the way things have moved out here, whether if Greenberg was, actually for him in the beginning or he wasn't. But what became a mystery was, to me, that, well, if he was, then why was he on YouTube entangled and easily to have these conversations with, certain people on YouTube with phone calls? How did you get trapped up in this whole thing about defense fund and things like that, right? To where it should have never even went there when you're out trying to represent someone like R. Kelly. You understand what I'm saying? So all of that just became puzzling to everybody, and it just left the doors open for a whole bunch of speculations. But who ran the speculation distracting of it all out here? Of it all, somehow this, in my opinion, this boy became humble. I mean, bitter. And bitter does bring on distraught. It's like, no, since I can't be since I can't be that supporter or that leader for Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly, then I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I can easily convince hundreds of people of my truth. If I say that Don did this, they're going to believe it. Or if I says that Greenberg done that, you know what I'm saying? This is just how he was moving out here. And it just made absolutely no sense to me. I don't know about you guys, but to me, it didn't. So somewhere, they didn't need his help anymore. Somewhere in this circle that's like and this is Will telling a little bit about, well, because he was on YouTube and the way he was being a disgrace to women out here, calling this or showing this and doing this type of work. I believe it, in my opinion, it goes a little bit deeper than that. In my opinion, that's just my opinion, that it goes a little bit deeper. Let's finish hearing what he had to say.
The focus of showing your support. He promised me 3 times that he would, and every time he went right back to doing the disrespectful things that he was doing. And I checked him every time. Every time I checked him. I'm not reading your comments. I really believe that Dana meant well early on. But hey, that's still to be determined too.
Absolutely, I got my money.
But I don't know Dana. Dana don't know me. Not like that.
So that will conclude that, right? But yet then, here's, like I say, a person who has been in Mr. Kelly's life for quite some time. I would assume, but yet then it was so easy for this boy to come out here and persuade hundreds of people about everybody's narrative on helping or trying to help Mr. Kelly. One, leadership will make you do that. If you think that you can come out here and feel like that you can run the whole narrative and be that man for Mr. Kelly to be like, that's my dude, and I'm like, and he say, a person will do that. A person will do that, but Mr. Wyatt, Don Russell came on. He told everybody, everything that I'm hearing Texas Black Diamond say, and then you to hear Mr. Wyatt speak out, who we know represented Bill Cosby. You wouldn't take this person as a shady guy, right? And he was talking about how he could have, he was the PR for Mr. Kelly, to put Mr. Kelly's side out here in a more truthful way, in a more brighter way, where you guys can see how he talks about his parents, or what was his reasons for going back to McDonald's, because his mother's spirit was there. But people did not want to hear it. He didn't want to hear. He didn't want to hear it. He did everything that he could do. He said that he's spoken to Mr. Wyatt. Don Russell told you guys that I was, he was trying to do X, Y, and Z. He also brought light to a lot of people out here to open their eyes up about Greenberg. But where do you see Greenberg? Out on the streets out here speaking to a distractor, laughing and he and ha ha, this stuff. As they say, I am really starting to believe now. It goes very, very deep. Goes very, very deep. All because of people emotions, their feelings. Let's get into, let me see, where is it? It's crazy, right? It's crazy. I don't have time to put the other motions up, but just so you guys know, I do have them, but I'm going to have to come back live tonight, the motion that was denied. But let me just, you guys, please give all the likes over to Texas Black Diamond this morning, because, I feel it when she talks. I feel it when she talks, you guys. So justice for for RK puts out a lot of information over there. So, I have to give shout out to that, y'all, because my goddamn Pacer bill is kind of up there. Like I said, sometimes you got to fall back on pulling information on Pacer because this stuff comes out of your account. So, and when you have your set budget, you can't allow, you can't come out of it. You can't come out of it. It's send you 2 steps back financially. And I'm just not that type of person that falls off of my, my budget for my bills and stuff at home. So I have to ask people to respect that. But yeah, it's up, and you can go and find it over there with Justice for RK. Post out so much information for Mr. Kelly. But let me see if I can find the timeline for. Hold on, you guys.
One press conference where he was saying that he had to fight to get Robert's royalties back. And I said, why we can't find it now? Just like with Drea Kelly, it was something that I couldn't find when she was speaking on Robert and she was talking about his throat. She said, I love him.
Okay, that's one part of it, but I'm going to try to fast forward and see if I can find the other with Mr. Wyatt speaking. But, the distractor, Bookham, he came out. He poured salt all on. Don Russell was stealing the money, or Don Russell was setting them up, or Don Russell did this over at that docuseries thing, and it's Don Russell's fault that Mr. Kelly has been moved to a federal indictment. You understand? Just a whole bunch of shit. Like, I'm sitting there like, what? Are you serious? Like, are you serious? But of course, like Texas Black Diamond says in her audio, in her video, it was like, that's when they all started, all because of him. Don the Con. But Don's story never switched up on things that he was attempting to do. Had he been able to work with Keith and Keith work with Don Russell, like Texas Black Diamond has stated, and they come together and put the money together to get Mr. Wyatt out there to do the PR for Mr. Kelly, boy, it would have been a lovely ring, a different ring to everybody's ears out here. But no, he ended up with Daryl Johnson. Texas Black Diamond also plays in there where you will hear Mr. Wyatt tell the world now of how Mr. Daryl Johnson got there. He got there by selling himself to these people that he was a PR for Mr. Bill Cosby. Dig that shit. But did anybody follow that up and go check that resume out? No, they just took his word and run with it. But here you are. You also had, who else? I guess apparently Don Russell and other people that was trying to tell Mr. Kelly, hey, no, something. But Mr. Kelly made his choices of whom he wanted to run with. I don't know if there will be any regret to it or if it's too late to switch things out. You understand? To me, who should be running this trial right now, state and federal, all the way to the end, would probably be Greenberg and Mr. Wyatt. So, what do you say? Why you all are so pressed about Faith? She's the only victim that don't mention R. Kelly. I guess Robert is the victim. What are you going to do when LaShonda tells her part? And we're talking about that, peeping you. We're talking about that. What is the possibilities of her coming up there with her testimony? What would be the adversary to it all? What would be said differently from the testimonies that was presented to the grand jury? How will his attorneys handle that situation with her being on there? Will they bring appeals or motions in to have it dismissed based on SOL or double jeopardies on this case that that was already had been a topic back in 2008 or during those times, so we're waiting to see, just like everybody else over here. We waiting to see. We don't have the exact actions of what's going to happen. But Faith did no differently to Mr. Kelly. It was put out there, and I'm gonna speak on it since you brought her name up. It was told out there. She went home. She came with the sister. The sympathy part came in. Well, let me tell my parents. She also went out there under 2 different attorneys. One of them, what was it? Did she go to jail or something like the other lady? And everybody knows Gloria Allred. Gloria Allred can plant any freaking seed out here and have it to manifest. So we're just waiting to see. But this is just what I'm doing over here, just to talk about.
Robert Sylvester Kelly, attorney sitting next to him. If you notice when people doing interviews and they got some kind of investigation or some kind of indictment, they have their attorney sitting next to them so they can let them know what to answer and not to answer. They're gonna look over at they're gonna look over.
So I'm still trying to get to some of Mr. Wyatt because I don't have. Let me see if I can find him.
Like even hide anything behind the door. So when people come back at your show, I want them to.
Okay, so I take it
Hold
back.
on, let me see.
It's the roadies. It's the security.
Let me go back to the beginning of her playing that.
Play, you know.
We on a hip hop show. So, and we understand in the music game, these artists don't go out and get people. Mm-hmm. It's the roadies, it's the security, it's the managers. When you're hot and you're making them money and you're going platinum, they get you the girls. They bring you the bag of money. I remember when my friends were promoting, he's passed away, William Sims. We call him Tanky.
Okay, so he's on this part, he's talking about how people do the promotion. So hold on.
No, y'all need, just trying to just keep them locked in.
I don't want to play all of her video, like I said. I'm not. Oh shoot. I'm not quite sure. Where Mr. Wyatt's interview is at, talking about this here, but it's very important. It's very important. I'm going to find it. Hopefully it can be sent to me, but I'm going to find it. I'm going to find that because it is very pertinent information, about Daryl Johnson, about how he spoke on Keith and how he spoke on Don Russell, and others, and how all of this entrapment pretty much came about towards Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. So shout out to Texas Black Diamond for sharing that this morning. So Peeping You says what's going to be different is that she's going to be able to show how he paid the family to be quiet. But I asked you again, how do you think that his Mr. Kelly defenders are going to come back to address that? We're talking many, many, many years later. And like I said, I believe that some issue is going to be brought up, whether it is double jeopardy or it's involving the SOL statutes. So we're just, I'm staying optimistic that that can happen, and that's just me because many years has went by, and you're saying that that she's gonna be able to show. Okay, well, if that's only possible because of them opening up, the government opening up this SOL, that you can still come back 50 years later to do so. So I understand that, right? But at the same token, questions are still out there. If this happened to her, and if that's her on the tape or this or that, then why wait? Why? Her parents was there. Sparkle just started speaking out on it when she got hold to Jim Derogatis. Jim Derogatis wants to push it out there. So the truth, I guess, is waiting to happen, and we're sitting and waiting to hear it. So it is what it is. But I have to go. So I gotta get going on my day. I just want to come in and just put that little information out there. It's devastating on how one person on this YouTube streets was allowed to manipulate a lot of people's mind about certain people out here, Don Russell being one of them. But I also stay optimistic. I also was waiting and listening and everything. But if you can understand how a person had to move in the street once they were able to identify that there were going to be distractors, there was going to be these type of people out here, some words had to be changed up and some steps had to be ordered differently. You said go to around 38, 138. Let me see.
Oh my God, I don't want to have a baby right now. I got so much going on in my life. I got college, and I don't want.
I don't fear my people.
I know that's right.
You know, I'm careful.
Yeah.
And
Don got. They worried about the trophies and everything that this man was saying was true. Because when Don Russell tell me something, I go back and follow it up with somebody. The damn Gayle King thing and.
Okay, so I'll play it from here just for a minute, and I want you guys to go over and hit the like button on Texas Black Diamond channel for me this morning, because I hit it. Okay, I got money. Have a good day.
And try to spark up a conversation with him and stuff. And so then that's when the interview was almost over, and then that's when he mentioned it to Don, and that's when Don got into it with Greenberg, and he said y'all, if this is wrong, he had no business doing that interview with Gayle King. So you should ask yourself, why wasn't Robert Sylvester Kelly's attorney sitting next to him? If you notice when people doing interviews and they got some kind of investigation or some kind of indictment, they have their attorney sitting next to them so they can let them know what to answer and not to answer. They're gonna look over at they're gonna look over at their attorney. Are their attorney gonna tap them? No, I don't think he should answer that because this is an ongoing investigation and we're not comfortable answering those questions. That's what Greenberg should have had. His Daryl Johnson was supposed to be a crisis manager. Why was Daryl Johnson there and not his counselor? Those are the questions y'all need to ask yourself. But everybody said, Don they worried about the trophies and everything.
Oh,
everything
Dana.
That this man
Okay,
was saying was true.
It's on
because
there.
When Don Russell tell me something, I go back and follow it up with somebody else that can confirm what he is saying. Or if somebody else telling me something, I ask somebody else, and they don't know I'm talking to them, and I confirm it before I come on here and speak anything to you guys. So I'm glad someone here is to confirm what Don was saying, what I was saying, and what other people were trying to put out there.
So there, I'm going to leave that at that. The rest of it, you guys, please go over and listen to it. And Tracy says that you can catch the whole live also with Mr. Wyatt over on the Dana. I think it's Dana Talks. I've watched her show. I am subscribed to her show. I don't know why I didn't get notification when she did go live with Mr. Wyatt on there. But, very interesting. And I can tell you this, when I hear Texas Black Diamond speak on a lot of things, you can listen very carefully, right? And she tell you that she had to go do her homework, because having someone on your show trying to tell you their truth, it is imperative that, let me double check it, because you don't want to turn out looking to be an absolute fool either. But when Texas Black Diamond was putting out what she had to double check, and wanted to verify, it wasn't enough, because everybody sat on the streets and just sat and watched this distractor. Bookham started slamming her, and she had no energy to be, to keep going back and forth with her. So most of her investigating truth and just, she closed the curtain down on a lot of it. How would you like to be coming out here and you're fact checking things and you're trying to put it out here, but yet you have someone like Bookham that's steady stampeding on everything you say, because he only wanted his goddamn BS out here on this street. He only wanted to manipulate everybody freaking minds to what he wanted it to be. He did. What did he do with Don Russell? He went. Someone else did. I think it was Sharon Winbush. Also brought out his family. What? Why was his family? Why was his sister and stuff brought to the YouTube streets? But shout out to everybody that does see the distraction around the YouTube streets and are using your mind for what it was given to us for. But she tried. She really tried to come out here and kept putting the truth out here on how a lot of stuff was falling into play or fell out of play. But you couldn't have it because someone tried, just want to start a big old fight. You says, so why do you think that it's when the truth has been spoken? We don't know the truth for Chicago just yet. I guess we're waiting to hear that. We're waiting to hear that. And if the truth has going to be so where a jury may have to say guilty or whatever, then so be it. That's why his attorneys are there. Because the game now is to find flaws. The game now is to find flaws. The game now is to find the miscarriage of justice used against Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. That's the game. That's the cat and mouse game right now, if you ask me. What did the law says? It's beyond and past what a female has says or what a female has gotten to say to me. Right now, it's what does the law say? What passage did they use and how they're using it to use it against Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly, and is it right? And Jennifer Bonjean said it from day one. She's coming at the miscarriage of justice out here. And a lot of people need to stay on that page about it because they can manipulate the law. You say interview, okay, and it's on the Tracy's point because I want to go and hear the whole thing, I really, really do. But the motion, like I said, I have it, and apparently it looks like it was denied. But I do have to go, people. I just wanted to bring that out there. I wanted to just point out that we all have to. We all have to be mindful of, the people that was trying to help Mr. Kelly or could have helped Mr. Kelly. But due to, bitterness or emotions and things like that, it just got shut down out here on the YouTube streets. So, all by, one or two people that wanted to just be the shit. Wanted their channels to rise to the mountaintop. Yeah, all of that. It was crazy, right? It was crazy, but, I don't know, you guys. I'm still going to stay hopeful, all of that. But, yeah, you can find it. It's here. Justice for RK actually posts a lot of stuff up, a whole lot. So to save on my pockets, I'm going to have to keep, staying. I'm going to have to go over and, and just follow his thread over on IG to help bring more information out as he or she, I don't know if it's I don't know who's behind that, is pushing it out, so, and opening up all of our eyes out here. But, man, that distractor came.